inside the garage. This is the lawn sprinkler control. It's been labeled. We do not have instructions. Also, I have not noticed a weather sensor. Around the corner is where the check valve is for the lawn sprinkler system, and the handles are rusty. It has insufficient service clearance. The bleed valves are open. No main water shutoff for the lawn sprinkler system. But that's not why we're here. We're here for the electrical system. Yay, electrical! Okay. Home faces east. This is the northeast corner of the garage. The meter should have been sealed to help prevent moisture infiltration into the wall. This is the main power supply conduit. It's coming in from below grade, and the conduit is loose. This should be, can water get in there? I think so. Water get in your electrical system? I sure do. That's what I think. So, that should be corrected, as the neighbors. The grounding rod is supposed to be buried. You probably have enough resistance with that depth. I don't know. I know that it's supposed to be buried. I don't put an ohm meter to it. So it's it's an 8-foot rod. That's not a 7-foot 6-inch rod. And then come inside the garage in the north wall, northeast corner, where the lawn sprinkler system is. This is the electrical system. Load center, main panel, second panel. All right. So what have we got here? We have hand labeling. Not supposed to be having hand labeling. All right. I mean, you can't see this from here. I got a picture, but we have an open knockout spacer right here, where you can stick your finger through the dead front. That's why they call it dead front. Stick your finger through there, grab yourself a dose of electricity, should you want some, or by accident. So, what do we have? These cabinets are not supposed to have more than 1/8 of an inch gap. All right? No more than 1/8 of an inch gap. 1/16 of an inch gap, is it? I think it's 1/8 of an inch. All right? That compromises the fire blocking, especially when you have gaps like this. That compromises the fire blocking from the box to the outside. These boxes are not supposed to be screwed into place. It's supposed to be nailed into place. Nails have much more shear strength. Okay? Nails don't. They're faster, they're tighter. I get that. But no, they do not hold. So if the structure was to experience a tornado, for example, well, you already got a bad day. If the house gets blown up, you already got a bad day. But if these boxes, these cabinets, okay, if you will, had been nailed in place instead of screwed in place, they have a much better chance of staying in place during an event such as that. Then over here, these are twist outs or knockouts. All right, these are for the mains. See how the mains come in through here? See how these little ones? All right, those are for each individual circuit. You're not supposed to bring more than 2 in at a time. If you bring more than 2 in at a time, that is called bundling. It's called skin effect. So that was actually done improperly. Now, I hate discounting my work, but the odds of getting this corrected, and the odds, benefit, resale value, and all those things, all things taken into consideration, I don't know. I would never dissuade my client from seeking perfection. But I don't know if that would be the best hill for somebody to die on. I mean, just like the paint inside of the cabinet. That voided the warranty. This home's 20 years old. So, there's no warranty anyway with paint inside the cabinet. Okay, that's a deficiency as well. When L1 and L2 come in, they're supposed to have little rubber or neoprene covers on there. If you don't know that's hot, you don't belong in this cabinet. I get that. But you're supposed to have protective covers over L1 and L2. On the main supply into the house. The irony of all, they're not required over here. It's not the main supply into the house. But they are, or have recently become, required over here. This is the main disconnect. We have 200 amps. This is the main neutral coming in here, and that's supposed to be wrapped with white tape. 4 wraps at a minimum. If you don't know that's the main neutral, you don't belong in this cabinet. I get that, but I don't make the rules up. I'm a mockingbird parroting, okay? White hots, these should be wrapped with black tape. And again, if you don't know that that's hot, you don't belong in this cabinet. But so that any fool can know that that's the main neutral, not touch that, and know that these are hot, then that's what they're for. They're supposed to be made, foolproof. So, safer. When you come in and you got a neutral ground wire, see that ground wire right there? We have ground wires over here. They can be as much as doubled. And they are. And there's nothing wrong with that. But where they married them with the white neutrals, okay, you do not double lug. I mean, apparently you do. I can't say you can't because they did. But you shouldn't double lug neutrals. And these neutrals have all been double lugged. The main grounding bonding location has not been labeled inside of the panel. What else? We got some cables touching the panel cover. We got a nice big open knockout in here. Think fire can jump out of there? I sure do. I think fire can jump out of there real good. So what do we learn? We learned that our grounding rod's not buried properly, or our conduit is loose. We learned that our meter should have been sealed. We learned that we got an open knockout on the covers, and we also learned that they're handwritten. They're handwritten. They're supposed to be printed like that. Okay, see where it says danger? It's supposed to be printed. It's supposed to be handwritten. See where it says handwritten AC, AC, and AC? All three of these are 30 amps. That's the oven. 30 amps, 30 amps, 30 amps. It doesn't matter. They're all 30 amps going up and down here. The maximum these condensing units, the condensing units for this house have, I think you're going to learn. But anyway, you're learning now, is 25 amps. All three of the condensing units have been overfused. So we learned that our grounding rod wasn't buried far enough. We learned that our conduits are loose. We learned that our meter wasn't sealed. We learned that our cover was hand printed and we're missing a knockout on the cover of the subplate, and we're missing a knockout on the bottom of this one. We learned that our condensing units are overfused. We learned that we've got bundling. We learned that we've got some paint inside of the cabinets and our bonding location is not labeled. We learned that some of our wires are touching the panel cover. We learned that we do not have protective covers on L1 and L2. We learned that the main neutral is not wrapped with tape. We learned that the white hots are not wrapped with black tape. We learned that our neutrals are double lugged. Two wires underneath one. Some people call it double tapped. Okay, call it what you will, breaker box, whatever. All right, we learned that our bonding location is not labeled. We learned that we got gaps more than 1/8 of an inch. We learned that we've got the cabinets were improperly screwed into place.